Welcome back to Celtic State of Mind. I'm John Dykes. The smiling man below us is Tony Haggerty, and the smiling man at the top is Lawrence Connolly. I'll tell you what, that could have been a much different post-match had the bold Tony Ralston not risen to the occasion. Tony, your namesake, talk to us about Tony Ralston. That is proper. Pulling it right out of the mire at the end. 96 minutes on the clock.
10 man, Celtic pulling it out the mire right at the end. Got to admire that never say die in spirit that the manager has instilled in them. I mean, the second half, for all the first half was pretty decent and they were well in control and squandered a lot of chances. The second half was brutal. Absolutely brutal.
What changed, do you think, Tony?
I think this Ross County substitutions changed it. Jordan White coming on just gave Starfelt an absolute...
It gave him the fear.
And it was just a big guy. Header him, hodder him approach. And he header him and hodder him all right, didn't he? He gave Starfelt got himself needlessly booked and then stupidly sent off. I mean, it's just that's... If you're the manager there, you're tearing your hair out over that one. You know, but... Alan Muir couldn't wait to send them off. I thought the second booking was a bit iffy, but he talked himself into the book for the first one because he wouldn't stop moaning because a big guy hit him, basically. That's what big centre-forwards do. Put defenders under pressure and they hit you. Got to take it. Don't go screaming and greeting to the ref.
I think it's about 2 minutes later he talks himself into the book because he's been lying in the deck for long enough to calm down. You know what I mean? You should be calming down by that stage. It's not like straight away. And
once again, Lawrence, who calms him down? Once again, it's Joe Hart, you know, and we've seen the same scenario with Juranovic. It was against Dundee, wasn't it, at Dens Park? So him bringing the experienced, calm head to the occasion and Joe Hart. When Joe Hart lost that goal, when I'm not blaming Joe Hart, he hadn't had a save to make prior to that, Lawrence. And I'm making my notes up just as we tick along into the 6 minutes injury time. And I was looking at these games that I'm not going to say scraped wins, but there's been quite a few single goal deficits. So we beat Hearts 1-0, Motherwell 1-0, St Johnstone 1-0, Aberdeen 2-1. And we've been talking over the last couple of weeks about what happens if we do lose that goal. And that's the scenario we were facing there. But let's have a look at the character, Lawrence, the character to actually, even though you've had the stuffing knocked out of you, to still be able to go and get that winning goal.
Yeah, I mean, we went for the win. You know, we could have had a penalty just before we scored. There's a few other chances. It's Ange football, isn't it? It's Ange ball. But I think Tony's got a song about these scorelines. You know, with the 1-0s previously, haven't you, Tony? And, you know, the odd goal wins, it's still the same 3 points in it. You know, it's the same three. And all we want tonight was a win. You know, the second half, Scales, you know, we were praising him at half time, but geez, he lost his man there for their goal.
And he knew it.
He didn't shake us a bit. He knew, but then again, he's not a lot of football as well. But it's a set piece. He should be well switched on. We're practicing them all week, hopefully.
Yeah.
But what a way to win it. You know, Tony Ralston just doesn't let you down, does he? You know, when you need someone, who you're going to call, it's going to be Tony, isn't it? You know, it's just who's going to dig it out for you? Who's going to show the heart, the desire? Because this season has all been about heart and desire, isn't it? And you said before the game, you know, it's been a wee while since Tony's given us a goal.
Yeah.
Well,
listen, it could be a crucial goal come May. You look back at that and say, wow, I mean, that's 90 plus 6 minutes. And again, they weren't very good the second half, but you've got to take the positives from that. They won. There's something in this team that just refuses to give in when they did it with 10 men. You know, so you have to just applaud that. Got a makeshift team. They've got an injury-ravaged squad. You know, there's just something about them that the manager has instilled in them. They just refuse to give up, don't they?
It's brilliant to see, Tony.
It's good to see. It's been a long time since you've witnessed a Celtic team like that who will go to 90 and beyond. And we are calm here. Anybody checked on Jim Orr just to make sure he's all right? But I can imagine the three pictures prior to or in the 96th minute You know, you're the epitome of calmness because you have to control yourself and compose yourself to speak. But I would imagine there was bedlam in all 3 rectangular windows about 5 minutes ago, and many households up and down the country and in the ground. So we said at the start, just take a win. You got to find a way to win. Get out of Dodge with 3 points, and they did that. They found a way to win. Goodness knows how, but they did it. And it could be a pivotal goal.
Yeah, in
the league race.
You look at Tony Ralston, and by the way, I make absolutely no apologies for bigging him up. I mean, where he's come from, having stuck around and seen off. I think it was 6 right backs he's seen off. You kind of looked at Mikael Lustig was the number 1 right back for many, many years, and loads have come and gone. And Ralston has stuck around. He's come in. He's been thrown in because we had no one else at the beginning of the season, let's be honest, right? And what he's done for himself and for Celtic so far has been tremendous. And it is one of their results, Tony, that we may look back on and say, look how important that 3 points was, because we were facing, going into that cup final with a bit of a loss of the bounce, going into the cup final, 6 points behind Rangers, and that changes our entire face of that. So he is a hero tonight. And I tell you what, I said this on Monday, due to circumstances out with my control, I didn't and couldn't watch the game live on Sunday. So when I was doing my Monday analysis with yourself, Tony, I was watching the game back retrospectively, and you analyse it differently, because you're not in the moment. You don't have that emotion. You know what the score is. You know what's coming. And you analyse the game absolutely differently. Now, I've got the comments here because obviously we set the stream up tonight prior to the goal going in, and the comments changed like that, like a switch. So I'm not going to bring up too many of the ones that were pre-Ralston's winner. But we do have to talk about some of the moments in the game. First off, because this is the post-match, we also need to speak about the first half. Abada scores in 20 minutes. We said Abada needs a goal. He needed a goal for the confidence. He got the goal. And at that point, we're looking at Abada's performance. We're thinking it's paid off. We actually, we reckoned that it was going to be, we predicted a 2-0, Tony and I, and for Abada to score the first goal. We weren't far off it. But let's look at the performance overall, Lawrence. We're looking ahead now. We're able to look ahead to Sunday. If Kyogo doesn't make it, are you quite happy with Abada through the middle?
Happy's not the word, mate. If Kyogo doesn't make it, we don't have an option. So happy, within further some kind of choice. I don't really think we've got a choice if Kyogo doesn't make it. But remember, I said 3-1. I thought we'd lose a goal to County.
You did.
Today. But listen, Abada could have had a second when he's taking it around the keeper. I know the keeper's pushing him wide, but if he keeps his head there, he's got time to take another touch and move in. The keeper's stranded. There's a couple of boys in the line, but it'd been 2-0 half time. Good that, we didn't see much of him off on the ball, but he seemed to press fair enough. He understands the style of the team, which is what we want. But, we thought Big Tom the Wizard of Oz was going to rescue us, but should we ever doubt Tony Ralston?
Well, no, absolutely not. You can see the reaction coming through there. I'm going to bring this up not because I want to have a go at any of the commenters, because this obviously happened. This was brought up prior to us winning the game, but I'm going to bring it up to discuss it from you and Boy Martin. Thanks for getting involved, you, and you are one of almost 2,500 watching this stream live, which is astonishing online. Ange got it so wrong tonight. So let's rewind just prior to Ralston getting us out of jail there. Do you think there was anything that Ange did wrong tonight? Or can you basically say, Tony, you know what, you don't expect an international centre-half to get spooked by a substitution, lose his discipline and get sent off?
Yeah, I mean, Ralston's got the team and Ange out of jail, hasn't he? Mm-hmm. Let's be honest, right? I don't think it has much to do with the manager. What else could he do tonight? What other team could he play? Maybe started Rogic, fair enough, but a centre defender lost his discipline, and we were praising him at the start. And at
half time, yeah.
Half time, so he just lost his discipline. You can't legislate for that. Here's a left field one. Why not play Ralston up front on Sunday?
Listen, tell you Sunday, put Juranovic on.
I mean, it's not the worst suggestion. The guy's got an eye for a goal. He knows where the frame of the goal is, and I'm seeing this in all seriousness. He looks more of an accomplished goal scorer than anybody that we've got in the team at the minute. And I'm talking about his goal at Tynecastle, his goal at Celtic Park when he flicked it and turned and spun, his goal at Easter Road where he threw himself in for the header, which was taken like a striker.
Scored in Europe, Tony.
And he
pulled us back into that game, yep. So, away to Betis.
If you're going to play with like false number 9s, why not say to a guy, do you know what? I remember Sheffield Wednesday did it. Was it Paul Warhurst?
I remember that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was a defender and they put him at number 9 and he couldn't stop scoring. So, you know what? I would trust Ralston to score before anybody else in that team if you're playing a similar team on Sunday.
He scored as many goals as Ajeti and Giakoumakis put together. So there you go, Tony.
Well, I mean, it is left field, right? But would you put it this way? See, if you played centre forward, would you back him to score? Of course he would. You'd back him on the first and last goal, wouldn't you? You've got
50th birthday for Michael Fern. Happy birthday, Michael. Salvaged by Tony Ralston. He's saving birthdays. He's saving title challenges. He is Ralston-Dino tonight once again. And the fans are on the pitch. I was just actually saying to you before we came on, we were forced to buy the PPV from Ross County. And by the way, Stephen Cragen's commentary is worse when you go behind that curtain of a PPV because he doesn't have to stay as neutral. And he was giving the Celtic fans all sorts of abuse for going on the park. Come on, Crags, as they call him. We just won a 96-minute winner, and they've breached it a wee bit. It was hardly a riot. It's hardly a riot, Lawrence.
I remember a certain team doing it at Firhill. I don't think he had problems then, did he?
No, and there was also the occasion where a dugout collapsed and all this kind of stuff. So, yes, absolutely no issue with that. I mean, emotions are running high. Let's have a wee look, though. You mentioned it very, very briefly, Lawrence. That was a handball. That was a penalty just leading up to the goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think without doubt. You know, I've only seen it back a couple of times, but for me, the boy raises his arm. You know, he turns and it strikes it. It's a penalty by the current rules. You'd have thought, but you know what? Would we be expecting to get it? Probably not. You know, with 6 minutes to go, wouldn't surprise us not getting it. But you know, Tony's dug us out. But tell you what, Juranovic on free kicks from now on. You know, at least they made the keeper make a save. We had Turnbull on all night, and I'm never confident with Turnbull hitting a free kick that he's going to hit the target. You know, never mind score, but Juranovic, get him on free kicks.
Juranovic only on free kicks, to be fair.
What's that?
Juranovic or Rogic. Free kicks for me if he's on the park. So I think Rogic would want to take a couple as well. I trust him more, you know.
Turnbull just doesn't seem to be getting the return just now. But what did Ange do wrong? Maybe when Starfield's picked up the yellow and he's been down for so long, shove Welsh on. Because you can maybe tell. But hindsight's... You know, it's you're going.
But you can argue
it's small things, isn't it?
You can argue the toss all day about the small print and the negativity, and they nearly dropped 2 points. They didn't. Still won the match. It's what we talked about at the start. You know, it's not our normal starting 11. We're having to make do and put some square pegs in round holes. They found a way to win. Yeah,
keep taking results out.
They keep taking out.
And doesn't do excuses, does he?
No, he doesn't do excuses, and he wouldn't have had any excuses had they drawn one each. You know, so it would have been a terrible, dreadful result, but they've dredged it out of the fire. They've salvaged a win. They've kept, you know, and see things like that, the wonders it does for confidence. As PGD said there, you're getting into that cup final now with a spring in your step. Mm-hmm. You're like, right, let's have it. First chance to win some silverware. For a lot of the players and the manager. You know, you're getting in on a real high. Probably the best high you can go in on, actually, by getting a 96-minute winner. You feel kind of, yes, you know, something's happening here. There's something stirring. So, I would focus on that. That's the story of the evening. You can talk about the fact he got it wrong and we didn't play particularly well. Great, aye. They didn't.
I thought first half we done well.
First half they were fine, aye.
When we were down to 10 men, I thought we started picking up again.
Well, then it showed you that they can play with 10 men and they can break teams down. Doesn't matter how late you do it. As we said, this could have been so different.
There was a moment, Tony, talking about sticking to the game plan and having a bit of discipline. Moffat gets the ball. We're 95 minutes into the game. And with his inexperience, I'm expecting him to try and just strike it. But he didn't. He put his foot on the ball when he played it wide. And it was that kind of moment that I'm looking at that thinking that they are sticking to the process, to the plan. The ball hits the back post and who's there but Tony Ralston. I'm looking for some comments coming through because we're way above 2,800 live viewers on the stream. But all the kind of things I'm getting at the moment is that, come on, Ralston, you madman. And that's fine. But if you do have any points in relation to the performance, anything we could have done better, then give us a shout. Now, I'm going to take it right back to Scales. We spoke about Scales there, both at the beginning of the game and at half-time. He had a cracking first half. But in the second half, I think he was exposed a wee bit more. And I'm looking ahead to Sunday. We had said that Scales was a starter at half-time. Has your view changed after watching 96 minutes of Scales there, Lawrence?
No, I mean, he was at fault for the goal. You can't hide that. He knows it himself. But after Starfelt comes off, he's going to be more exposed. County are going to have more of a go at him.
Yeah.
He stuck to the game plan. Yeah, he stood up. I would still say he's still in the team just now. Just because the last two games, I thought Taylor's just been so far off it compared to where he can be. Scales had a great first half. What a cross for the goal. The bigger pitch at Hampden's probably going to suit Scales more, I think. The Starfelt start as well as come in. Who knows? But I wouldn't drop Scales on that just now. Nah. I think crosses like that into the box is as good as a goal, isn't it? Anyone in the box is putting that away. Anyone in the 6-yard box. So I'll still keep Scales in the team for the cup final.
We were talking, Tony, about us being pretty happy with that back five, Hart right through to the central defensive partnership. Has anything changed in your mind leading up to the cup final?
I don't know, but I'd be having words with Starfelt. Mm-hmm. I really would. No, you can't go down like that because a guy. I don't know. You can argue the toss that it was an elbow, but that's the rough and tumble of if you're a centre forward and a centre half, these things are going to happen. I don't think that it was. I don't think it was a malicious elbow, was it? It wasn't a forearm smash, was it? He got caught, but I don't think it was bad. But that's what happens. That's you've got to be man enough to take that, have you know? Am I reading that situation wrong? Did he smash her into the face? I don't think so.
What you can't do is lose the plot 2 minutes later.
He let that incident affect his whole game. Mm-hmm. And you can't have that if you're part
of the red mist. Absolutely.
And he put his team under severe pressure by being sent off because a guy skipped past him. And he lost his focus and his concentration. And you just can't have that. That was an isolated incident in the match where they threw on a big target man. That's what target men do. Mm-hmm. They elbow, they jostle, they stick the head in and all that kind of stuff. So
deal with it. Yeah.
Be a bit braver than that. Stand up to that. Meet that challenge. That's just the way I see it. You've got to be a bit cuter than that, haven't you? Don't lie on the floor and get all upset and uptight, and then you weren't even on the game plan or your team plan. You just became obsessed with yourself, and then you just lost all focus and concentration, put your team under pressure, and somehow the 10 men have dredged that result up. You have to big them up for that, but I would certainly be having words with Starfelt.
But listen, I think Starfelt's right. The assistant linesman, the ref, should have seen it. Maybe the game should have stopped for a head knock. But what you can't do is absolutely lose a plot and talk yourself into a pin. Mm-hmm. He's been elbowed. I don't think it's malicious. A voice it's probably a free kick. The ref should have stopped the game because it's a head knock. There's blood. Yeah. We know that should have happened. But he was down for a couple of minutes and then he loses a plot with the ref and gets a needless yellow. You're like, Cal, you need to, you know.
And Joe Hart, the peacemaker, has to step in again and remind them. I mean, he's an international footballer, Lawrence.
He was in danger of getting a second yellow off the red because the first yellow didn't stop him. You know, it was Joe Hart that stopped him after it. So you're kind of going, he just completely lost it. And you're going, mate, you need to be able to keep your discipline.
Absolutely.
Whether the ref was right or wrong or whatever, should have kept his discipline.
We've seen it cost us in the past this season. You know, Beaton, who, by the way, I thought played particularly well tonight. Beaton against Midtjylland, it was just ill discipline. And it cost us a tie in the end, if you think about it, because obviously he was missing in the second leg. It was a makeshift defence. And we've seen it again tonight. Thankfully, we did get out of jail because of Tony Ralston. I'm going to bring up Ian Laurie's comment because we'd like a bit left field, Tony. Ralston of the Rovers, this is superhero comic stuff. I used to love Banana Man, but Ralston is my new superhero. He better start wearing his Y-fronts over his shorts. Ralston can do anything he wants at this moment in time. I like a bit of a Banana Man reference, so thanks very much, Ian, for bringing that in. Android the Rovers, of course, big fans, Tony, you and I.
Oh, my jumper's Banana Man stuff, isn't it? You know what I mean? So
it's up there. Welcome to the show as well, Mark. How big a mistake was playing Kyogo versus Betis? Yes, it was actually a big mistake. And I think that when we look ahead to Sunday before the game, Lawrence says, do you think we might have a surprise up our sleeve with Kyogo? I absolutely hope that we do. We're talking about a bounce. Yeah, you're going to have a bounce after pulling that from the jaws of defeat almost. It would have felt like a defeat of one each. But Hibs may well have a bounce by Sunday as well. Maloney being the man who's in the frame for the job, Tony, they're going to be going into that, perhaps with some momentum with the change in manager. Looking at that side there, you've given Moffat his chance. That's his debut tonight. He looked pretty good. Who comes away for that? Looking ahead to Sunday, who probably won't be selected? I'm thinking maybe Montgomery. He failed to impress tonight.
Montgomery's a definite non-starter on Sunday. Scales I'm now 50-50 with because switching off at a corner's just no use. And that affected his game as well. After that, he was very good in the first half. Laid a great goal on a plate for Abadan. I was, was bigging him up, but he can't switch off like that. You know, it's a big call between Scales and Taylor. I know Lawrence is saying that he's been happy with Taylor the past couple of games, but it's a big call for the manager, and we'll see what he does. I think he might go with Taylor, personally, because Taylor's got a wee bit more big game experience than Scales. And but I mean, it just shows you how in the blinking of an eye things can change, because I thought Scales was coping really, really well, and then the goal went in and it just upset everybody's rhythm, really, didn't it? But Scales and Starfelt in particular seemed to be affected by that. Carter Vickers I still think is really solid. A couple of meaty challenges and likes to get wired in, doesn't he? You know, so, and I was just thinking, had Carter Vickers jumped up with Jordan White, I think Jordan White might have been the one to come off worse off, you know, so he just be a bit more robust than that, eh?
That's a part of his game, though, Tony, that we've been praising him for. Starfelt, the defensive side, winning tackles, winning headers. You know, the dodgier side was when he had the ball at his feet and time to think.
Yeah, I don't want to have a total downer on him. I just thought he a severe lack of discipline tonight. You know, so and it could have cost the team, but it didn't. So I get back to the fact that they won. That's just, you know, so they keep that momentum going, that unbeaten domestic run going as well, and that does wonders for your confidence. It doesn't matter how you win it. You know, they just did it, and that's why Ralston's in the team, because he can give you that. I made no secret of the fact that I thought that at the start of the season I thought he was one that would maybe not have a future at the club, and I've even written it in print that he's rammed my words down my throat, and I'm glad he has. Nobody's more happier about that than me, and that's what it means to Ralston, and that's what it meant to the Celtic supporters tonight. And you know, it means the world that a player like that has turned his fortunes around under Ange, and he's produced arguably the biggest moment in the season so far. I think it is the biggest moment for Celtic's season so far.
It is, Tony. And by the way, by the end of the campaign, I'm hoping that the only 56 we're talking about is Tony Ralston. Now, Kyogo, ninja striker Furuhashi, Starfelt should have been subbed after his booking. Going back to a point that Lawrence made earlier, behaving like that, red card waiting to happen. Lawrence, I'm going to come to you first. We are going out to massive figures tonight, so thanks everybody for joining us. It's always an absolute pleasure, particularly when you score a 96-minute winner. Lawrence, give me a lineup for Sunday. Now, I know the Kyogo session, we know the Kyogo question is outstanding, but give me your lineup.
So I'd maybe go number 1, Joe Hart, then 2 to 11, Tony Ralston. Just, the guy's just outstanding for us just now. But no, seriously, depending on how Starfelt is, because, listen, we don't know if he's got a broken nose or how fit he's going to be. So it might be Welsh and CCV. Probably at left back, maybe Juranovic, Tony Ralston. Midfield, Beaton, McGregor, and Rogic. Wide right, I think, Abada, Rogic false 9, and on the left, I'm not going to go with Montgomery. I'm going to go with Owen Moffat, even though we didn't see a lot of him. I just think he closed down well. He just fitted into the system. And I thought Montgomery's had a bad couple of games. But I'd probably go with that instead of, well, who knows, maybe Kyogo makes it. But what I know just now, that's what I'll go with. So
you're playing Rogic and Turnbull on that side, with one of them as a false 9, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's interchangeable. I mean, that's what Ange spoke about at the weekend. Tony, would you make many... It just shows you how fluid this is. That's a different team than you would have given us at half-time, I bet, because Liam Scales was playing so well. We're talking about him playing left-back, and now we're talking about, let's put Juranovic back into the left. What's your thoughts going into that game on Sunday, Tony?
Yeah, my thoughts are that Celtic can win it. It's a big, expansive pitch, and Celtic are usually, you have to go some to beat Celtic and Rangers at Hampden. Hibs' game plan in the semi-final just came together brilliantly and caught Rangers unawares, and they'll have to produce a similar type performance again if they're to beat Celtic on Sunday. I just think Celtic will have to take their chances on Sunday. They have to be more clinical, because in the first half that game could have been out of sight, couldn't it? With the chances that they created, and they'll need to learn. They'll not get out of jail all the time, but they'll be in a game on Sunday. It's not a foregone conclusion. They will be in a real contest on Sunday, so they'll have to, they will have to dig in again if they're going to win it. But I get back to it, they'll be going in. Their confidence will be sky high after that. They'll believe anything is possible. And I'm not being funny. I still think I would toy with the idea of putting Ralston up front. I kid you not. It's like
in the last 20 minutes of a game, Tony.
Yeah,
you'd need to ask why not. Throw him up there, because we've seen it happen with big centre halves. Throw them up last 10, 15 minutes of a game. He's shown. Not only is he probably the best crosser of a ball down the right-hand side that we've got, but his finishing ability with the head, both feet, he's shown us how to do it. And I'll tell you what, there's lots and lots of positivity coming through for Ralston, unsurprisingly. Matty McKay, Ralston has a dig we all love to see. He does have that, but you know what? He is... he's pretty cultured as well. It's just, I think that a lot of people had a perception of Tony Ralston. It's taken a wee while for many, many fans to shake that he was just, a brickie. Was it a brickie? And now he's shown us that he's got a lot more to his game than that. And I think that if we are fortunate enough on Sunday to win our first trophy under Ange, there shouldn't be any bigger cheer than when Ralston goes up. To hold that trophy above his head. I mean, for the mental fortitude that required to see off that amount of right backs, to be the unfashionable player, to be the whipping boy, but time and time again to prove everybody else wrong, because he must have had an incredible amount of self-belief to keep going, under manager after manager after manager. He made his debut under Ronnie Dyler, and he's still here, and he's tearing it up. And I'll tell you what, I tip my hat to him. Absolutely brilliant tonight. That was a different post-match than it was going to be after 95 minutes. We have been way up at 2,800 live viewers. Thank you, every single one of you, for supporting what we do on A Celtic State of Mind. Someone asked earlier about why we're not at the game. We can't always get to the games, but I think there's a coming together on the ACSOM Matchday, and tonight it felt as though there was a coming together. Great momentum. We go into Sunday's game, and I'm going to ask you guys before we go, prediction, Lawrence Connolly, Sunday.
I think it's going to be 2-1 Celtic.
First goal scorer?
First goal scorer, I'm going to go the Wizard of Oz, Tom Logic.
Oh, nice one. And yourself, Tony Haggerty?
2-0 Celtic.
2-0 Celtic. Again.
You want a first goal scorer?
Give me a first goal scorer, Tony.
Tony Ralston.
Tony Ralston. Why not? Why not? Listen, I might share my view tomorrow when I'm back on the ACSOM Bulletin. But thank you, everybody, for getting involved. It's been an absolute pleasure tonight. Celtic beat Ross County 2-1 with a 96-minute winner from the one and only Tony Ralston. Thanks, everybody, for getting involved. Join us again tomorrow at 12:30 for A Celtic State of Mind.